at this moment in hockey history. The Nashville Predators currently find themselves in 5th place in the Central Division after 27 games skated. They have a record of 14-13-0, 28 points, has them 6 points behind first place Colorado Avalanche. Now let me talk about the Central Division top down before we move on to the individual matchup, which of course you already know is against the Montreal Canadiens because of the second game of back-to-back. The Nashville Predators finishing off that game in Toronto and now heading off to Montreal. No time to even think about anything. 6 points behind the Colorado Avalanche. So let's start with the Avalanche in first place after 27 games skated, the same number as the Preds. 19-6-2 is their record. 34 points has them 1 point clear of the second place Dallas Stars, who have 33. The Winnipeg Jets are in third place with 32. Then you'll find the Arizona Coyotes and Nashville Predators tied with 28. But because the Coyotes have only skated 26 times, the Preds have skated 27, and the Coyotes have a head-to-head victory from earlier in the season. The tiebreakers all in favor of the Arizona Coyotes. Going below the Nashville Predators at 5th place, you'll find 6th place, and that's the St. Louis Blues with 27 points, 1 point behind this Nashville Predators team. But the Minnesota Wild, 22 points in 7th, and Chicago Blackhawks, 19 points in 8th place, are starting to slip just a little bit. The real competition now is amongst the top 5 in the division, separated by just 6 points, 1st through 5th. Separated by 6 points. No, I'm not including St. Louis because I don't want to. The Nashville Predators' next matchup is going to take place on the road in Montreal, where they have a record of 5-7 on the season on road games, 85 goals total for the season, 85 goals given against for the season. It's the first of 2 against the Canadiens. The next one will take place at Bridgestone Arena. It won't take place until March the 5th. Now, once the Preds are done with this one game, second of back-to-backs in Montreal, back home for a one-night stand against Philadelphia at Bridgestone Arena. Friday in Carolina, so Tuesday to Friday, it's the first time the Predators have had a break in any time, and it's the only break they're going to have this month other than Christmas. So Friday at Carolina, Saturday home versus Washington, so another back-to-back, one on the road, one at home, and then the 21st at Philly, and then the 23rd versus Dallas. So the Preds will finish up their 2-game regular season series against the Philadelphia Flyers coming up between Tuesday and the 21st of December. So very quickly, the Preds will be done with the Flyers. Now, I mentioned the Montreal Canadiens, so let's bear down, let's bore down, let's microscope in, let's do whatever the hell we do on this show. The Canadiens are 12-12-3 here on the season. 27 points, has them 6th overall in the Atlantic Division. 6-8-1 on home ice, 75 goals scored, 95 against. That's a goal differential of -20. The Preds have no goal differential at all. They're even at 0. Now, taking a look inside the numbers and the rankings between these two teams, the Nashville Predators are going to be favored in every one of these statistical metrics. So we'll start on the Nashville Predators side of the ledger. Goals for 3.11 per game is 17th best in the league. Goals for Montreal, 2.67 is 27th overall in the league. Goals against Nashville Predators giving up 3.15 per game. That is 14th overall in the NHL, while Montreal is giving up 3.44 per game. That is 27th in the league. The Nashville Predators are generating 30.6 shots on net per game. That's 17th best, while the Montreal Canadiens are generating 28.4 shots on goal per game. That is 28th overall in the NHL. Preds at 30.6 shots against as well. Very even and symmetrical. Same shots for, same shots against is also the same ranking, 17th in the NHL. I sure hope I didn't copy that wrong. Shots against, 34.7 for Montreal is 30th rated in the NHL and the lowest, tied for the lowest of all of their statistical metrics. When it comes to the special teams matchup, the Predators are actually favored in this one with the better of the statistical units in both categories. Power play, 20.6 conversion rate is 16th in the league, 21 out of 102 for the Nashville Predators, while Montreal is 17.5% conversion rate, 24th in the league, 17 scores on 97 opportunities. When it comes to the penalty kill, the Nashville Predators 75.3% kill rate is 26th rated overall in the National Hockey League, and they've given up 21 power play goals against. Now, typically, the Preds give up more power play goals than their opponent, but in this situation, the Preds are also ahead in that metric. 74% is the kill rate for Montreal, 30th is their ranking, and 26 power play goals against on the season is a very, very high number. If you're 5 goals higher than the Nashville Predators on power play goals against after what the Preds went through early in the season, then you are definitely having a tough time. Now, every team in the NHL has incredibly high-skilled individuals. There's no doubt about that. So what we always like to do at this moment is look at the top 5 scorers by statistics and statistical categories, and then the goaltending matchup before we wrap up the recap and get before we wrap up the preview and we get to the recap. So the stats for the home team, Montreal Canadiens. Let's start with Suzuki, 8 goals and 14 assists. His 8 goals is tied for the team lead. His 14 assists is also tied for the team lead, but his 22 points are 2 ahead, and he's number 1 overall in scoring. Caulfield, 7 goals and 13 assists for 20 total points. Matheson has 5 goals and 14 assists, the other co-leader in assists for 19 total points. Monahan has 8 goals, the other co-leader with Suzuki for total goals, plus 8 assists for 16 points, and Newhook, 7 and 6 for 13. Over on the Nashville Predators side of things, well, nothing has changed since the last game, and you'll know why when you stick around for the recap coming up in a couple of minutes. Forsberg, 14 and 16 for 30. O'Reilly, 12 goals, 10 assists for 22 points. The captain, Romeo, 6 and 14 for 20. Nyquist, 3 goals and 15 assists for 18 points. Luke Evangelista, 4 and 10 for 14. Now, anticipated matchup since both of these teams played yesterday. They are getting set to play again tonight. So it was Primeau in net for Montreal last night, picking up the victory, 46 out of 48 in Buffalo. So anticipated to have Montembeault in net today, 6-4-1 on the season, 9.12 save percentage, 2.78 goals against average. We saw Kevin Lankinen get beaten by the Toronto Maple Leafs 4-0 on Saturday. So we expect to see UC Saros in net here on Sunday. He has a record of 11-10-0, 9.04 save percentage, 2.93 goals against average. That's going to get you all set up for the Nashville Predators Montreal Canadiens. We've got to get to the Rebirth Sports full game recap on a back-to-back weekend when the games are less than 24 hours apart. We really got to hustle to get you all the information, all the intel, and we're going to get to the break. We're going to get back and get that recap in right away. We're coming back on the Renegades of Puck podcast.